Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, how to choose silver needle tea. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my visual tips on how you can spot higher quality silver needle. This video is going to go onto the Tea Masterclasses playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then go click that button. So silver needle, also known as Bai Hao Yinzhen, is pretty much universally sold in any self-respecting tea shop. But I thought it would be useful to give you guys some of my visual tips on how you can spot higher quality tea. Now, of course, at the end of the day, it all boils down to taste. But there are some visual secrets that you can use to increase your chances of getting a higher quality batch of tea. So I've got some tea samples here that we're going to take a close-up look of. But before we do that, let's quickly talk about the processing of silver needle tea. So silver needle is normally produced in Fuding in Fujian province, although you can buy silver needle from other provinces in China and other countries in the world. It's usually made from the Bai cultivar because the Bai cultivar has very thick, juicy buds. Now, if you imagine the bud that sprouts, that flushes in the springtime, contains all the layers that will eventually become leaves of the tea plant. Now, if you pluck that bud at the right time, when it's at its thickest and juiciest, before it starts to open up into leaves, then you can produce really high quality silver needle. Pick too late and the bud has already started to open up and you're getting leaves, so you have the choice of keeping the leaves on or having a more slender bud. If you pick it too early, then the bud is too small and the tea is too weak. After they pick the bud, they then wither it and dry it. Now that sounds very simple, but that process is deceptively detailed. The reason for that is that they want to time the withering and drying process exactly so that it has the right level of oxidation. If that process takes too long because the leaf is too wet or it's a wet day outside, then the leaf or the bud will start to oxidize too much and start to go black or red and have too strong a flavor. If the weather conditions are very hot and dry, then the bud might wither too quickly and then you'll get a weak tea. So they have to be working, the producers have to work with the weather and the environment to try and get the wither time exactly right to produce high quality tea. And so they will work with different ways, trying to roast the tea if the weather is too wet, or trying to shade the tea if it's too hot, to try and get that wither time right. And you will spot those little tricks that they're using in the final product. So let me pull the camera on top and we're going to take a close-up look of these samples. Here are 6 silver needle samples. I've included the dry leaf here. I've also included the brewed leaf so you can see what it looks like after it's been infused. And I've prized open the bud so you can see the layers contained within. So the first thing you want to be looking for is the consistency of the sample. Here we have lots of broken leaf here. We have leaf and bud. This one is slightly better. This is mostly bud, but you can see there's still a fair amount of broken leaf in there. Whereas these samples here are 90 to 100% bud. So much more consistent. That's what we are looking for. The next thing is color. This sample here is inconsistent. There's red and black parts, there's a yellow color as well as the white and the green. So you're getting a very inconsistent color profile. This is slightly better, and again we're improving here. But these 3 samples have much more consistency of color, and the color itself is much more desirable. Less of this yellowy and red hues, and much more of this lighter white and greens, especially this sample here, which is definitely the higher quality in terms of color. The next thing that we look for is the texture of the buds. Now, these higher quality samples have much thicker downy white hairs than these. And if I try to take a small sample and put it on a plate for you to look up in close up, see how close I can get to this. You can see here the white hairs are much more pronounced, much thicker, whereas here the downy hairs are much thinner and just less obvious. So you want to be looking for thicker and fluffier hair. Okay, the next thing that we want to be looking for is the actual size and shape of the buds. Now we want to find very thick buds that contain many layers of leaf. Now, don't be fooled, because this one here may look quite thick, but actually when you start to look at it in close up, I'm going to try and see if I can focus on my finger here. You can see that the bud is actually encased with a leaf. So even though it looks thick, the bud is actually encased with a leaf, and that shows that these buds were picked too late. So the buds had a chance to start to open up and create a leaf, and you can see that when you prise it open like this, you can see that this is no longer a very thin bud, but it's actually a leaf here. And so this was picked too late. These samples here are much more what you want to see, so thick, full buds. This one here is something that we see in a lot of tea shops, where it looks quite pretty, but actually the buds are very thin and slender and don't have much going on inside them, which makes me think that this was actually a summer picked tea. So in the spring, the bud contains all of the layers of leaf, and when you pick it, it's very thick. And after you've picked it, sometimes the producers will go back in the summertime, and the next buds that come out, because they're not preparing to produce lots of leaves, are actually a lot thinner and don't produce such a delicious tea. Whereas these ones here, especially this one here, if you look, once we've prized open this one, the ratio in terms of the size is very, very similar here, and it's a very thick and robust bud. This is really the size and shape of the bud that we are looking for. But all of these samples are good. What I think has happened here is that they've picked this on the right day, so they've picked it at exactly the right time, but it must have been a very wet day, because you can see that the edges or the stems of this sample actually have gone black. So this one took too long to wither, and therefore the edges have started to over-oxidize. Whereas these ones here maybe were picked a day late, but it was the right conditions, and so the wither time and the drying time was perfect to get that beautiful level of oxidation and maintain this lovely sheen and this lovely color. So I would certainly be selecting out of these three samples and leaving these ones alone, because too thin buds and yellow and inconsistent. These are the kinds of samples that I would be tasting from, and from there it would be a matter of taste preference. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of the things that you should be looking for when you go shopping for Silver Needle. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. Check out our playlists and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come and visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don May from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from the tea bags, keep drinking the good stuff, and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.